Okay, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Extra Bytes. We are now live on YouTube. We have few people already there and waiting. They were waiting for us to go live. And today is another exciting day. And this time we have another wonderful photographer. But before I start talking about him, let me first share that exploring light. What is exploring light into? So what is exploring light is into photography education, providing photography workshops and photo tours at across the world at different places. And we've been into this business from almost 10 plus years now. And during lockdown, we thought of starting something which will probably benefit the entire photography community in these difficult times, trying to understand, trying to find a rare peek inside what goes on in the mind of a photographer, a landscape photographer, and how does he approach the subject. And session so far has been phenomenal. And I'm sure today it's going to be another such enlightening day for all of us landscape photographers. And on our panel, we have Sandeep Mathur, we have Himadri Bhuvan, and we have Prakash Kumar Singh, we have Som Roy, and we have Sanhita Banerjee. And as a speaker, we have Federico. Now Federico is, if I have to give a brief introduction about him, so he's a landscape photographer who calls Dolomites as his home. So that can you imagine what kind of thrill a photographer would get, that calling some place like Dolomites as his home. And so Dolomites to him is a great source of inspiration. And he is very delighted and happy to organize the photo tours for all photographers who are willing to come to Dolomites and assist them at all in all scenarios. And he works with every tour operator or travel agency in order to organize and realize his tours everywhere. So he's been awarded, he's highly awarded landscape photographer and awarded many international contests. And he has also been published online in papers as well, and magazines and books. So this session is not about me. This session is not about any of the panelists. This session is about Federico. So Federico, without wasting time, let me first welcome you to the panel, to this session. And we are so delighted that you accepted our request and you are here gracing this occasion with your presence. And I'm sure that it's going to be, everybody watching this are going to get benefited from your journey. So how about taking us through your journey as a photographer, how you started, the challenges that you faced, and whatever the struggles, the enlightenments, the awards, and Dolomites, and everybody. You keep interacting with wonderful photographers from across the world. So over to you, Federico. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to thank you, everyone, for the invitation. I am very happy to be here. So for this interview, and yeah, I can start talking a little bit more about me. So when started basically my journey of as a photographer. So I remember that when I was a younger, 25 years old, I was traveling in Australia. I spent there around 7, 8 months. And in this trip, I had the first approach with the composition in photography, because I can divide my journey in different steps depending of the period of my life. So when I was 25 years old, it's about 15 years ago, so it's a long time ago. I was traveling and I did the outback from Adelaide to Darwin, right? So in this situation, I had with me just a digital camera, the first digital camera that you can buy at the epoca, so with maybe 2 megapixels, I don't know, 3, something like that. And in that trip, I started looking the composition because if you are a beginner, usually you put the face of your friend, of the people that is with you, always in the center of the frame. And I realized in that trip that it's something that I didn't like. So I started put the face of my friend no more in the center of the frame, but on the right, on the left, because to me it was more important to show the landscape that there is behind. Okay, you have to imagine that I'm coming from Italy, so the landscape that you can see in Australia, especially in the outback, is completely different. So if I'm returning back home, I want to show the landscape also, not only the face that there is always in the middle, because the beginner, the first picture that took is with the face in the middle of the frame. So after that trip, I returned back to Italy, and I had about 7, 8 years with a new camera. I bought new camera with me, and but you know, it was like an hobby for me. It was just a way to bring home some souvenirs from my trips, because I was lucky enough to go to South America, to Africa, in other places in Europe. And I remember that I didn't shot with the raw files also, no? And so this was the first step, the first approach that I have with photography in my life. But the second approach, it's with the software. And I had this approach 7 years ago, because I got married. And for this event, I hired a local photographer that lived near my home to manage my picture for the wedding. And what happened? That happened that this photographer delivered to me the picture. I was not happy about the result. And another friend of mine asked to me, advised me, and advised me to ask to the photographer the raw files. And I did. So at the end, I had with me the raw files of my wedding without using Lightroom. And this situation, I download Lightroom, I started study the software, and you know, I started little by little enter in the world of a photographer. And this was basically the second step. It is a little bit funny history, but yeah, this was the second approach. But after I think 1 year, I moved to United Kingdom for another 6 months, and then I spent there. Yeah, I've been there till the year 2015. And you know, when you are abroad, it is difficult sometimes have the time to shoot something different, also because you don't know the places. And also, I were located not in Scotland or I don't know, in a beautiful place. I was in Yorkshire, and it's a little bit difficult to find something to shoot. And also, I was a beginner. I was studying photography, and yeah, at the end, after the year 2015, I moved to Italy again, and then I found a period of my life with more, I don't know, with less deviation. I was more quiet, and I started studying more in the tip of photography. And yeah, at the end, I can say that my journey, my serious journey of photography started in the year 2015. So if you think I started the first approach 10 years before, and in the year 2005, and then I started seriously after 10 years in the year 2015. And from this year, of course, many things are changed, because starting going more time in the mountains. And yeah, this is basically the start of my journey. So I don't know if it's clear.
No, it is clear, and it is inspiring as well. So yeah, that's wonderful. So can you Dolomites? how Dolomites happened, and why only Dolomites, and why not maybe you've traveled to Iceland as well, you've traveled to Norway as well. So why only Dolomites is where you are focusing now? Anything about that?
So I am lucky to live near. So, you
Okay.
know, I can go to Dolomites every weekend. So, you know, it's for me, it's like a Luna Park. So I can go there and I can find the situation with different conditions. For me, the local photographer always has the best picture of the places because it is practically impossible if you are not living, for example, in Iceland, have the picture good as a guy that is living there in Iceland, because this guy have more opportunity. And yeah, so I can say that, yeah, Dolomites is a big source of inspiration. I live near, of course, but I am also a guy that I love a lot of travel. So I have to combine the two things because, you know, I like, I started doing photography in Australia, for example. And when I was a beginner, just for trying shooting JPEG, but it is something that for me is complementary. I like photography, I like traveling, I like outdoor. So for me, it's not only about Dolomites. Of course, I am based here, it's more easy for me, but I like also explore other countries. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Anybody has any questions from the panelists? Som, Sanita, Himadri, Prakash. Anybody? Or should we move ahead?
Let's move ahead. Question will come along the
All
way.
right. So Federico, how about taking us through your images? Because I think we all are itching to have a.
I create also a short presentation
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a picture. If
yeah,
you
please.
want, I can share also something so you
Yeah,
can
please.
have an idea of my journey.
Yeah, please.
So let me check here the file here. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I don't know if you are able to see.
Yes,
Yeah, we are able to see. We are able to see.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I created just a few slides just to show you my trip, my journey of photography from the year 2015, when I returned back from United Kingdom, basically. So let me know if you are able to see, right?
Yeah, we are able to see.
So let me, maybe in this way is better. Let me check. Okay. So this is the year 2015, and this one is one of the first pictures that I took in the year when I was basically in United Kingdom, and I did a trip to the island of Skye, and you have to consider that in this situation I was completely a beginner. Probably I was not able to use Photoshop, but in my opinion, it is an interesting shot, this one, because I was using already the filters, the ND filters, the graduate filters. So I was trying, but I was completely a beginner. This is just to show you the first step that I did with the photography. I'm gonna add, so yeah, I've been also in Dubai because I have my brother that is living there. These are the first shots that I took, and as you can see, many of these shots are with the long exposure. Usually, every I think a beginner starts doing something like this, like a long exposure, HDR, because want to learn something more also about the shutter speed. And yeah, was basically the first shot that I did. This is Scotland, basically. This is another shot that I took in the same trip. This is Harrison Lewis. It's another island that is near Scotland. And let me try to go down. And then when I returned back after the trip in Scotland, I started looking around me. So what mean? I started looking all the places that I have near home. So the location that I have near, it's Dolomite. This one, it's one of the first shot that I took of Dolomite. It's really near my home. It's about 45 minutes car.
Sorry for interrupting. Is this your house that we see?
Sorry?
Is this your house in the picture?
No, it's not my house. It's a shelter. yeah, it's I am not this lucky to have a shelter there in the in this place, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is an example. This is also a long exposure that I took when I was basically at the beginning of my journey. And it's also a famous place here, this one in Italy. And then I'm going ahead with the year 2016. And this one is another picture that it's a little bit famous that I took in the year 2016. Yeah, I was there with a friend, basically. I was trying to shooting this mountain because this mountain is Marmolada. This mountain is located on the left of this sheen, okay? So on the left, in this direction, I have the other mountain. So after the sunset, I realized that there were the car passing in the road, and I tried to do a long exposure with the car. I tried many times because there are the shelter here, as you can see on the right. So what happened that many cars stop here and cause light pollution. So I think I spent there around 30 minutes because I was not able to find the right car that come from the right and go to the left without stopping. And I don't know, I was lucky because after a while, a car go ahead directly and without stopping. This is a single shot, a single exposure. And yeah, this is probably the first interesting shot that I did in my life. Also, yeah, it's now I changed a little bit the composition is the same more or less. I changed a little bit the tonality of the shot, but it's more or less very similar to the original frame. Right. So in the year 2016 I was shooting a lot. I was exploring a lot of places in the Dolomites in different seasons, in the winter, in the spring, in the summer. This is another shot from Trecime di Lavaredo. This is a sunrise, for example. And I started looking more at the detail of the picture. I started using the luminosity masks. You know, at the beginning, I was like many other photographers. I was looking the works of Ryan Dyer or people like this, and I started studying more how to post-processing better my picture. And I wanted in that time put a dreamy look to the picture, basically. This was my purpose for that epoch. And this is a sunrise. It's basically the blue hour before the sunrise. And I remember that we tried to do all the circle, because you have to walk a lot to go to the other part of Tricime or Lavaredo. I think some remember very well the place. But in this situation, we were not able to go ahead because there was too much snow. And we stopped, and I remember that night we sleep there in a cabin. It was about minus 15 degrees, something like this. And in the morning, we wake up early. I went here to take the shot. So this was one of the first shot also that I took in Dolomites. One of my favorite also.
Federico?
Yeah, so I started going Dolomites frequently every week, exploring new area. This is another shot that I took. This is during the day. It's no sunset, no sunrise. I changed a little bit the tonality for this shot, and I try to put some drama in the picture, some moody atmosphere. And I don't know, in this situation, I try to enforce the light that is here in the peak, in the clouds, and I try to dark everything. So also this picture gave me some awards in the past. So I have a mix of pictures that I took, for example, also a picture like this with the first Milky Way. This was in Sardinia Island. I was just there for holiday vacation. And also I'm still improving my style, but I feel like someone that I don't like really much the sunset, the sunrise, but I prefer moody condition, the foggy condition, and maybe shot with the blue hours. I have to follow what I am. So basically, this is another example. I found this foggy atmosphere. This is another shot that I took without expecting, just exploring. I didn't went there to take this shot. I was just exploring the area. After, in the year 2016, also I took a picture like this one, that are more classic picture, like a postcard. Okay. This is for me now, it's all the same picture. I'm trying to do something different, but this was the first year that I was using the camera in a serious way. So this is Briar's Lake without water, just to give an example, right? And then in the year 2017, I changed a little bit my style, because I'm trying to find something more moody again, like this situation here. But before I went to Tuscany, I took the classical shots. I went also to Tenerife Island. I started using also the Astro Tracker for take the shot of the stars. Yeah, also long exposure with the sea. I started looking more and more the tonality of my shot, because I want to keep natural. And I took a picture like this one. This one is an example, because I can explain a little bit the situation for taking this shot. I was there with one friend from Roma, and this my friend was there taking the shot as me, and I had with me the zoom lens. okay? And for me, with the zoom lens, the 1635 was easy, change position, change composition, and yeah, take the right moment in the shot. My friend was there with not a zoom lens, but with another lens, like I think probably 14 Samyang, something like that. Or maybe a Nikon lens, but no zoom. So what happened? Happened that we were there with this light, but the sun appear only for probably 10 seconds or 15 seconds. And given that I was there already in the place with a zoom lens, I was able to capture the shot. My friend instead was there trying to change in the lens to put another one and lose the moment. So what I want to say you is that maybe for the landscape photography, it is much better have a zoom lens that another lens like, I don't know, 12 millimeter, 10 millimeter, because you are more flexible and you can change composition and without changing the lens, right? So this is just an example. So I was able to take this shot, but my friend not, because I was changing the lens. So for me, for a landscape photographer, it's very important. Maybe consider also this, have a zoom lens, because you are more flexible. Maybe you can take another lens for take astrophotography or shot the stars, but only for this, not for doing normal landscape, in my opinion.
Hey, Federico, I have a question for you.
Yeah, some.
So, I mean, one thing that I'm noticing with your images is that, like, for example, if I took this shot, right? If I took this shot, I would have probably processed, a little differently, like, oversaturate the yellows a little bit, because that's the only source of light in the image, the horizon, right? Now, looking at most of your shots, you do not, I mean, obviously of your most visible colors, you do not try to increase the saturation. That's something I'm seeing with your images. Is that intentional? Is that intentional?
It is intentional. So everyone, I think, have a different taste. So, for example, I like more the cold tones. I don't like too much the warm tonality, but this is my taste. But yeah, it is intentional. In some picture, I change the tonality a little bit more. In others, not. I don't like push too much the saturation. I have also other example. Let me show you. For example, I will show later some picture with more saturated color. But yeah, in general, I'm not the guy that like a lot change or saturate too much the colors. But I will show later because I have another picture that is completely blue and I change the colors in pink. So, or maybe I can show now. Let me check how I can share now my screen. Let me check here. Not here.
I think there is a, I also have a question which is an extension of what Som is saying. And you also mentioned in between that you like to shoot fog little more than you like to shoot sunrises and sunsets. So does that thought come from the choice of processing comes from the similar kind of fact, because sunrise and sunsets give you more of warm tones and fog gives you more of cold tones, so cool tones. So do they have a linking in between the thought process that you start that you have right from the choice of shooting foggy conditions, going up to the post-processing of images, giving them the similar kind of tonality, even though there is no fog.
So I can shot also during sunset, during sunrise, but maybe sometime I can have also a very nice shot from this period of the day. But I want to explain that, for example, I don't know if you are able to see my screen now, Photoshop. Are you able to see?
There are two images that we can see. One is that same image of that we were talking about now. There's another image that is appearing from behind, which is almost blue tones and fog. But
What are you showing, Fred, right now? What are you showing?
I'm showing Bled now, Slovenia.
No, you are still on the presentation mode.
It's on Sardinia right now. I can still see Sardinia.
Okay. I am in Slovenia now. I want to show another one. So
Show us Sardinia.
I'm stopping sharing. I'm trying to.
you stop share and reshare them.
Okay. For example, this picture.
Wow.
This picture, for example, it is completely different, the roof.
Yeah.
Let me show you. I will show you what I did with this picture. So I'm going in. So this was the original picture. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is completely blue. It is not during sunrise or during sunset. So the picture become pink, basically. This is just an example because, sometimes I'm changing me too, the color tones, right? But I'm trying to keep the color tones natural, right? So I think this is the little bit the secret. So I'm trying to not push too much in saturation. I'm changing, but I'm changing a little bit only. So for the people that is looking my picture, think that is natural light, but yeah, sometimes it is natural light, but sometimes it is also me that I'm changing the picture in a natural way, right? It's only about taste, I think, in my opinion. So, for example, I don't know if you are able to see this picture now with foggy.
Yeah.
Blue. Yeah.
This is
This picture.
This is amazing.
This is amazing.
Amazing shot.
This just took my breath away.
I think he got quite a few awards for this as well, right, Fred? For Antorno, the shot in Antorno.
I will show you the shot at the beginning. So this is the original shot.
So I wanted to ask you, Federico, while you were showing this, now, do you wake up and always check the weather? Like, Antorno is quite far from your home, right? Did you plan it? Like,
yeah, so there are situations that you have. Maybe if you check the weather, the site, you can see if after a while you become a little bit more experienced, and you realize when there are possibilities to see low clouds, okay, or when it's raining, probably in the lake there are these atmospheres when it's raining. So after the rain can happen in some lakes that you have this situation. But you know, I've been in this place, I think, I don't know, 10 times before doing a shot like this. I have a lot of shots from this place, but are similar to the others. And I want something different. So I returned back many times to this place. And when I found the condition for me, I found my shot. So this is mine shot. It is difficult to see another shot like this one, because this is also a reason. So I like more this kind of landscape, because are more difficult to replicate. This is not a sunset and on sunrise. This is before it's blue hour. It is difficult to see again the same shine. So I don't know if it's clear.
Does this philosophy put you in advantage in the award competition segments, because you're so different with these images?
I think in some competition they are checking the raw files also. In others not. It depends of the competition. Probably, yeah. If I'm sending my raw files with a few adjustments, I have some advantage in comparison to the others, because maybe someone can add the fog manually with the Photoshop, can add the light with the Photoshop. But in my case, it's all natural. It's the nature that give me this as a gift, basically. And if you check the picture now, the first level is practically similar to the end of the picture. I did a very few adjustments. So I just, I don't know, I put some clarity here. I clone some stuff here, paper, something like this. I give some mood to the picture, but I change a little bit the tonality, but just a touch, and then the picture is done. So, you know, it is difficult to explain when you are in the mountain and you are there frequently, many times. It is, you have maybe, I don't know, 100 pictures from the same place, right? And at the end, at the beginning, you are trying to modify everything with Photoshop. But after a while that you are involved in this place, in this mountain range, you are there that you will see with your eyes that the nature is giving you something without doing post-processing sometimes. For example, I have another picture, this one. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Also, this one, this is the original picture that I took, right? And this is the end of my level. So I didn't change too much. But this picture is beautiful without touching, basically.
Why do you have all these layers? I mean, you didn't touch it at all.
I did some adjustment, maybe, I don't know, maybe I changed a little bit the blue, but just a touch. Maybe, I don't know, the light, or maybe I put some glow or details in the top here in the peaks. But yeah, these one are more or less the same, because there are more levers for nothing there, because I had to print the picture, and then I tried to find different combination for printing. But yeah, we can say that the level 7 is the end of the post-processing. But yeah, at the end, I didn't touch too much also this picture.
This is very subtle changes, and I think the beauty of this particular image lies in that, because you try to keep it intact without, and as such, it is little moody, and it is showing some light from directional light also. I think that the beauty lies in its simplicity. That's what I feel, and I'm already loving it. Yeah.
And also, it has been shot so well. All the highlights are protected, the shadows are protected, the histogram is beautifully set up. It's been shot brilliantly.
Yeah, of course, I'm trying doing my best when I am in the field. So this is a shot I took with a tele lens. The situation was beautiful at the end. It was one of the best moments that I lived in Dolomites. You know, when at the end, it's only luck because I'm living near. And when you are near a place like this, you have more opportunity to have this kind of shots. And
We are all jealous. Federico, we are all jealous. We are all jealous.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, you need to have, of course, a good raw files. This is always important. Also, if you are doing a lot of post-processing in your image, because I have other files with me where I did more post-processing. But when you have an image like this one, I think you can leave the image as is it, because what you can do, you can maybe increase the what it is done. It's difficult to see again a situation like this. So for me, it is something that I am lucky because I'm live near the Dolomites. I have more opportunity. I am local. So if you are doing a trip here, you have to hope to find this condition, but it's difficult because to me, maybe take maybe 20 or 30 trips there to see a situation like this.
But Federico, I mean, I know you're being very humble in this conversation, and I think Sandeep made the point. Even from a composition, the visual flow, the light positioning, I think it's great on the shot. It's just not about great natural conditions, but I think even from a shot in how you framed and created the composition around the frame, it's quite brilliant actually on this shot. It's simple, but I think that's the beauty of it. Just looking at this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Federico, you didn't think of creating another version through long exposure of this?
I think I have something with the long exposure. I have many pictures to check again. It is parked in my hard disk. Maybe in the future I will show you something different.
Okay.
But I have something. You know, I have the hard disk that is full of pictures. Sometimes I have no time to work on my picture. This is why I'm showing this now, but I have a lot more pictures. I hope one day to find the time to doing post-processing for all the pictures that I have parked in my hard disk, because it's not my main job of photography. And sometimes it's also difficult for me combine photography with the other job that I have. So, you know.
Rodrigo, we are here. Pass us the hard disk.
I have a situation very interesting to show to the world, but not only from Dolomites, but also from Norway, from Iceland. I have a very, because when I am in one place shooting, I realize that I am able to bring home a lot of good pictures. So when I am in one location, I'm not there all time waiting the good light. No, I'm not this kind of person. I'm always exploring. So I'm always walking around me. So sometimes I'm saying to my clients, my customer, that it's more important have a good pair of red shoes instead to have a good camera, right? Or because if you are working a lot around you, you are able to see more things. So it is very important to work around you in the location. So I am very creative with the composition, and for every place I can bring home very, very nice composition. And sometimes it's very difficult to me choose the right one to work. Sometimes maybe I have others better than this one, for example, because I'm just taking one from the big folder that I have with the picture. So, yeah, but also, you know, these are the two cases that I want to show you because also your audience can understand that it is not always Photoshop, right? It is also the nature that give you the good shot sometimes. I don't know if you have other question about these shots.
Federico, which one won the Epson? Did you get a gold, if I remember?
Sorry?
Epson Pano Awards. Did you get a gold, or was it a silver?
No, I don't understand the song.
Okay, Epson Award, Epson Pano Award. You got you got an award, right? Epson Pano Awards.
I
Sorry?
think he got on the Lago Antorno shot. He has that moody shot there. The one he was showing just before this one. That, yeah. I think this one won this some award. Tit Fet
This one, what?
got some awards, some prizes. I mean,
Yeah,
it is win some, yeah.
yeah. I've been, yeah, some awards in the fine art photography awards, also ND awards. It is not the only one that give me many awards. I have also other picture, but yeah, this one is popular. So it is one of my favorite shot also. This one. This shot it's very important for me because you know, I am happy when the nature show me this condition with foggy, with the drama, without doing nothing with Photoshop. So it is a special picture for me. But also this shot at the end gave me some awards. In last year I've been in Spain, for example, another competition in Spain. For this shot, for example, for this competition was really important. Give the raw files to the competition, and in this case, probably the fact that I didn't touch too much the frame, it's a plus for the jury. Yeah, and also I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to add with the presentation that I did, this one, I think. And then maybe you can stop me, or if you have more question about the picture, feel free to ask, right?
Yeah. Continue right now because we would like to see more.
Yeah, I'm trying to show something more about me. So this is another shot that I took in Dolomites, really moody. It is the style that I like more, basically. Also in this situation, I didn't touch too much the raw files. Sometimes in the mountain, when there is stormy condition, you can see light like this. And if you can see here on the left, there is the shelter. And this shelter is Locatelli Refuge. This is, I think, yeah, basically I took the shot from another side, and these mountains are around Trecime of Lavaredo. And this one is Locatelli. I think some of you know very well this place, but you have now seen a picture from this side, because it's another mountain. And I took this one with the, and foggy condition, Also this.
Wow.
I was working alone with the moon, and yeah, I found another foggy condition. Also, in this case, the light is natural. I didn't touch it too much.
Is in autumn, Federico?
I think maybe there is probably I took this one in May or in June, I think, because there is some snow here.
Right.
So,
Looks like we have to stay 1 year there.
Give me,
also, okay, in the year 2007.
yeah, Federico,
About foggy condition. Yeah.
is
That's
this,
it.
is it Dolomite? Because we were supposed to be there in Dolomites very soon with you, and so, but I have one question regarding Dolomites and also, is it more or less foggy in that particular place usually, or it depends upon the season? And does it require a lot of hiking as well in Dolomites, or?
Oh, lot of. My God, don't talk about hiking. Just see.
So,
It's lots of
foggy depends of the rain. So if there is rain, probably you are able to see some fog condition. About hiking, yes, for reach some place, you have to hike a lot, maybe sometime 2 or 3 hours. Of course, if I'm managing a tour in Dolomites, I'm trying to show the people not the difficult place to reach, because I can understand that it's not easy to reach some place. Sometimes you have to consider that, for example, I spend the night in tent in the middle of the mountain. You know, with the customer, you cannot do this. Maybe you can do one night, maybe, but no more. And also, if you start hiking 2 hours with your camera bags, and also with your sleeping bag, and also with the food, all the stuff that you may need for the trip become very hard for for a friend, for someone that is coming from another country. So yeah, so foggy depends of the rain, and also luck, and also how much you go to the mountain. Hiking, yeah, there is a lot. It depends where you want to go.
Okay.
Federico, I have a question. Yeah. So, like, because you mentioned about hiking or trekking, so do you have any behind the scene, like small video or a couple of photographs that could tell us about the kind of hikes or treks that you go for to get your images?
Let me stop sharing.
Why is so soft?
Our story from Trechime.
Oh God.
Let me check if I have
You
something.
have to hike a lot. Yeah.
Just say, let's hire a helicopter and fly there. It's better.
I was thinking about you only, Prakash.
So we got stuck. Me and Federico got stuck in Trechime during our hike. It was night, and we kept waving at the helicopters throughout the.
So I don't know, maybe I have the red shorts here. So it's our amulet, right? So for have good condition. But yeah, I can show something like this. For example, this is a place.
It's not coming, Federico. It's not coming.
Are you looking? Did you see the tent?
There is.
It's blinking.
Can you stop sharing and come again? Because there is some Yeah, yeah. Try coming again. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I have a question about this image as well.
Yeah, me too, me too. I am also there.
Yeah.
Himadri, you go.
Yeah. So Federico, just like I asked, like, do you have any behind the scenes shots? So this was one of the images which I saw back in probably 2016 or 2017. I think you had posted this on 500px. So
In the past, yes.
yeah, I think it was 2016 or 2017, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, probably it's an old picture.
Yeah. So I was pretty much inspired by this because at that point of time, like for past 2 years, I haven't trekked, but at that point of time, I was trekking quite a bit. So these kind of images, I was always on the lookout for. So this is one of the images that inspired me to shoot like scenes, nightscapes, or even daytime landscapes, along with the tents and along with other stuff that you carry along with you. So this is one of the inspirations behind my shots as well. So thanks for putting this up for us. But could you tell us a bit about this story?
Yeah, so this place is called Mondeval. It's a beautiful place because you have a big valley, especially in the summer, it's very beautiful. And you have basically two big mountains that can also be reflected in a little puddle that there is in the middle of these two mountains. Yeah, for each this place, you have to walk around 1 hour, 30 minutes, more or less. Depend how you are stronger, but more or less it's about 1 hour, 30 minutes. And
How much is the elevation?
hmm?
How much is the approx elevation? Means you
I
are
think
hiking on
it's
a
about, it's not too much. I think it's about 600 meter or 700 meter.
okay, then I am fit enough. Okay.
That's
So,
700 meters is quite steep.
For 1 hour hiking, 700 meters is not steep actually.
no, it's not really difficult to reach this place, in my opinion. There is just a little part that is a little bit more tricky, but at the end, it is something feasible for me. Also for if the guy is training, can manage to go to this place. It's not a problem. So, but I was there not for taking shot like this. I just took this shot as a souvenir because I was there with friends and I was there with a tent and I was happy and I tried to bring home a picture with the tent. I was there for taking the picture of this little puddle, this lake. This is a small lake that is called Baste, with the reflection of the mountain. So what I can say, this is near the trail start near Passo Jau, and from Passo Jau, I know that's neat, I don't know where the place, also some. You have to walk around 1 hour and a half. When you reach the place, you have this lake, this puddle that is full of mud. So it is very difficult to take the picture in this place because basically you are walking over the mud, over the water. It is a really strange situation. You get wet easily in this place. And if you get wet, after you have to spend all the time with your shoes, with the wet shoes. So you have to make attention to take the shot in that lake. The first time I think I got wet, for example. But yeah, this is I spent the night there with our friend. And also in this place, I returned back after maybe 1 year again. And sometime maybe you are sleeping in the middle of the valley, and during the night you can see people running because there are trail, or maybe I remember that in that night we had a lot of monkeys also. So we were sleeping inside the tent with the animals walking around us, and we were a little bit scared because we didn't know what there is outside the tent. So yeah, you live this situation. At the beginning, it is a little bit difficult because you are scared a little bit, but after a while, it's look mysterious, and you love spend the time, especially in the night in the mountain. It is something that become beautiful little by little for me.
I felt we didn't go to this place, did we?
We didn't go to this place because yeah, we have to hike 1 hour and a half.
Yeah, we didn't have time.
It's not really easy also for everyone. So usually I'm not using this place for a photography tour, because also there you have no place for sleep. There are no shelter. There is nothing. So you have to park your tent. It's the only option. Or you have to return back, but it's time consuming if you have a group of people with you.
Right, right. I'd love to do something like this.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. Also, for example, I'm sharing, for example, another video just to give you an idea. Sorry, share the screen.
Again, it's flickering.
Can you see now the video?
Try again, try again.
You have to do it again.
Okay. Because I have a short video that I did with the drone.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe
Do one thing, do one thing. Stop sharing.
yeah, now I'm stopping.
Stop sharing. First, you open the video.
Yeah.
Double click on that. Maybe press pause or stop button, and then share and then play button. I think try doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing now. So okay, share screen. So can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the mountain, you are living this situation basically.
I think you are running a 4K video.
Yeah, it's with the drone, but it's just to give you an idea, because
Right.
Now see the hiking.
Oh, man, that is.
The amount of hiking you have to do. Oh, God.
yeah, this is just to give you an idea, the feeling of the mountain. So when you are there at the end.
Great.
Similar to Pharaoh.
No,
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of difference.
It's easily one of my favorite things to photograph and go and end time. Most exhilarating.
Prakash, you
Okay,
should get into lockdown fitness regime.
I think some grappa would help, right? Because you'll in the head, you won't feel anything.
Where?
In the
You
door,
have grappa and go there.
have grappa and then go to hike.
No, the grappa is good for the night. when you are looking the stars, you are shooting during the star, maybe it's cold outside. It's good to have with you a little touch of grappa. But you know, when I've been in Iceland in September, I had with me the grappa, and I was shopping the Northern Light, drinking my grappa. Was cold. I had also a good shot from this location was the Westerhorn. And yeah, sometimes it's just to, I don't know, I feel myself when I am there. I want just have some relax, and I'm looking the beauty in front of me. And why not? I cannot drink just a touch of grappa. It's good.
So grappa, red shoes. That's it. That's all you need.
No, it's
No, a red jacket. We
Red,
need a red jacket.
also, yeah.
red shoes are mine. Federico doesn't have them. He has always wanted them, but I've never given it to him.
But Fed is very fit. I mean, he was miles away ahead of us. We were like running, jogging kind of thing, and he was just leisurely having a walk, and he was miles ahead. I mean, he is such a fit person. Fed is really fit. You have to be very fit to be there. I think so.
He had his skating shoe on.
Sorry?
I said you had your skating shoe on. Roller sandal shoes.
Okay, Federico, I was going through your website as well, and while we see a lot of wide landscapes, though you might have clicked them using your telephoto lens as well, depending upon how far you are from those frames and all that you wanted to create. But I also see some intimate scaled kind of landscapes or macroscapes or whatever you might want to call it. So when do you decide or to really opt for that kind of imagery? And if you have some images ready with you, if you can take us through that, it's going to be great. Otherwise, how do you decide when to opt for that and when to opt for wide angles and wide vistas? Any thought process that goes into it?
So I will show again my screen. So because at the end is part of the presentation that I did, the details. So yeah, I took some picture like this with foggy as well. I don't know, probably I think sometime yeah, the foggy is something that I really like a lot. But yeah, the details, I'm talking this kind of because I'm always fascinated about also this kind of picture. There is not a rule for me, depends of the situation. Sometimes you can have a shot like this also near home. You don't need to go far. You have just to look the environment that there is around you in a different way, in my opinion. And when something captures your attention, it is maybe the right moment to have this shot. In my case, for example, this one is with the fog is just 5 minutes far from my home. If you see this location without foggy, it's nothing. There is nothing to photograph here. It's the weather that did the picture. This one is another picture with more colors. And also this one, it's about 10 minutes far from my home. And I just put some light here, but more or less is the same. I was fascinated about the color tones of the trees. So I think there is not a rules. Sometimes you have just to follow your your instinct, I think. Also, this one is in the middle of the snow. I don't know, it is something that I really like as well. I like to do different kind of photography. And this is why I say to you before that I have a lot of picture in my hard disk to work on, because I'm able to see in different way the landscape that there is around me. I was also, for example, with some in Bryce Lake, and we were taking the shot in Bryce with some, I remember very well, because some was taking the classic shot of Bryce Lake, but me, I was there with the telelens. I was trying to find details. I have seen, for example, the session that you did with Alex Noriega, TJ Thorne. So sometimes my approach is also similar, because I'm trying to find something different in the scene that there is in front of me. So at the end, just see, there is no rule. You have just to follow your perception of the scene. Sometimes it's with wide angle, sometimes it's a telelens. It depends only of you, how much creative you want to put in that place, in that time, for me. I don't know if it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear. See,
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of learning here for all of the landscape photographers, and for me as well, from few sessions in the past and the session today, that it is what we usually come across is from people is that when they are out there shooting, they start visualizing only in terms of their 1635 vision. So that usually helps them create some great vistas, but then they stop visualizing beyond that focal length. And it is important to keep your eyes open, as you rightly said, that there are no set rules. You just have to go by the flow. And if there is some vista that comes across you, in front of you, where you need to really zoom in and get the textures or get those patterns and get those intimate scenes, then why not? I think that is one, keeping your eyes open. Visualization is very important here, I think.
It is important to keep the eyes open, look around you,
Yeah,
and also work around you.
yeah,
Because if you are using the wide angle, maybe you have to find some interesting foreground, and maybe you have to find some flowers or some rocks.
Yeah.
You can use this as foreground. You can see the foreground only if you walk around. Otherwise, you have to choose. Maybe you have a good situation that is far. You have to change the lens and take the shot with the telelens. It depends. You have to look around and try to find the best of the situation that you are living. I have also another picture that, for example, I took. Let me see if I am able to check the picture. This one, for example. This is another picture that have basically no post-processing. The situation was like this. So I didn't touch too much this sheen, for example. This is done with the telelens as well. If you look at the place, it's nothing. There is just some trees and nothing to shoot. But with foggy, all become magic. Yeah, so I can go ahead maybe a little bit more with the presentation that I did with the picture. So we spoke till now also about details. And maybe I can start speaking a little bit more Northern Lights. I don't know, because I've been in Norway 2 times, in Iceland, and I really love shot the Milky Way. And I love also manage the post-processing with the Milky Way also. I work a lot at the picture that I took with the Milky Way. This is the first shot that I took in my life of the Milky Way. I was there, basically, it's the first day I landed in Norway. The same day, in the same night, I was there in this beach. I was speaking with my wife on the phone. I was in the car, and for the first time in my life, I have seen the Northern Light. It was an amazing experience. So this is the first shot that I took, and I decided to post-processing the first shot. I have many shots with the Northern Light because I was really like in this trip. It was a solo trip. I was there 15 days, more or less, and I was lucky enough to see the Northern Light, let's say maybe 12 days, 12 nights. So I was very lucky in that trip. And these are some shots that I took in the past. This is just a reflection. Here below, there is the ice. You have to make attention when you take shots like this, because at the end, you need crampons to work here. Otherwise, become dangerous, because the water become ice during the night, cause the temperature go down. And so I can show some shot that I took in the year 2018 with the Northern Light. This is myself, just a souvenir picture. This is a picture with probably 4 shots. I combine 4 shots together, one from the sky, one for me, one from the landscape, and one for the light, probably. So this is just an example, because I'm not, I'm doing also me sometime post-processing, depends of the picture. So this is another one, famous place. I was lucky enough to have this good red in the pics. And also classic shot. Also, yeah, picture like this with the Northern Light over Amnoia.
Wow.
I was really lucky in that trip to find this condition with the sky. So in this situation, I remember that I took this shot probably in 5 minutes. I was driving, and when you are in Norway, you can check the app, you can see the weather condition in all the island, basically, in Lofoten Island. And you can have an idea in advance where is the best place to go for have your shot. Because sometimes in the north it's cloudy, in the south of the island it's not cloudy. And maybe if you want to shot the Northern Light, you have to change plane and you have to change location. In that night, I was lucky because the Northern Light was very powerful. I changed maybe 3 or 4 locations the same night, and I was driving. I parked the car near this, there is a bridge here where you take the shot. And I remember that I had with me the camera already in the tripod. I went down the car, I put down the tripod, I took only 3 shots in total, one from the sky, one for the light, and one for the landscape, the foreground, changing the shutter speed in order to obtain more details also for cover the light. And then after 3 only shots, I returned back to the car. I went to another place to take other shots, for example. So sometimes the right moment is waiting only for you also. So this is what I learned also about photography. So you can maybe sometime spend 1 week and you have bad weather every day, but in one day you can have one of your best shot in your life, for example.
Federico? Hey. Can you hear me, Federico?
Yeah.
Do you have any shots from Segla?
But this big one is from Senia.
The Segla trek.
No, from this place I was near, but in that night I decided to return back to have a shot around this area. I didn't hike to that location. I know where it is, but I never been there.
Okay.
Maybe in the future I can return back. It's not really far from this place. It's about 50 minutes far by car from this place of this picture that you are seeing now.
That's what, like a 2-day trek?
No, you can go there. I think if
it's
you,
drivable. You can drive from here.
it is not difficult to reach that place. So you have just to hike maybe 1 hour. I think no super difficult.
Okay.
There, I remember that there is a road that is a little bit narrow because there are many tunnels and you have to stop the car many times. But you reach the place, and because I've been there, but didn't take the hike to go. For what I remember, it's about 1 hour hiking. Okay, to reach that place. Yeah, so this is the first trip that I did in Norway, basically the first picture that I took there. And then always with my moody condition, foggy condition like this, it is something that I really love, take shot with the foggy. For me, there is something most spiritual in take shot like this, because I feel completely involved in the situation. I like feel the windy, the fog atmosphere in my skin. So yeah, there are some shots of Dolomites in many places. This is another shot that personally I love, because there are many layers and you can see a lot of rays from the sun coming down. A really dark shot, but I really love this kind of shot. Also in this situation, I didn't touch the frame a lot in Photoshop. Famous cave like this with the three peaks, Trecime of Lavaredo. This is Ceda. This is the early morning with the sunrise. I think this is a combination of probably 3 shots to have a more dynamic range, to recover a little bit of light here, because I have the sun in front of me. Yeah, also a shot like this. I was lucky enough to have this color in the frame, also in this situation. You have already seen these, that also this one was practically done by the camera. And also, yeah, moody situation, something like this, but I'm trying every time to keep the tones really natural with less saturation. This is Plitvice Lake. This is another view from Lagazuoi mountain. This was taken in the winter with the telelens as well. Also, I have some shot with the drone. This is a shot that I took in Bryas Lake. So yes, as you can see, I'm doing different style of photography. I'm not focused in only one style because I like to change. I like to do something different. It is part of the journey, my journey. Also in February, I went again in Lofoten.
Federico, just a minute. Can you go back to the drone shot? Yeah. So I have a couple of questions here. One is that you said that you don't stick to any particular style. Now, today we all know that social media, particularly Instagram, is behaving in a particular manner. And if you do not maintain your style, this is, I'm sharing with my own experience. If you do not maintain your style, then your popularity starts going down because people really want to see you focusing on one particular style. And that is when people follow you more than people follow who have a diverse kind of style. I might not like that kind of thought process, but I think that is a sad, harsh truth. So, so it is evident now that you are not really bothered about that part. But again, there is the financial aspect of it because you also organize photo tours for others. And does it bother you if your reach gets compromised because of your diverse way that you click your images? That is one question. Yeah.
I don't really care too much about different styles because I care more about myself, about what I want to show. I know that maybe for social media, it is important have more or less the same picture, the same style, because yeah, maybe yeah, maybe I don't know, the audience can recognize you better if you are doing always the same style. But I don't know if it is completely good this, because at the end we are, for my opinion, too dependent of social media. For example, if one day Facebook or Instagram close the platform, right? What they are doing, all the photographers are doing what? They are living with the social media only, basically, showing every time the same picture. And also, I don't see creativity in doing always the same stuff, because it is practically not possible have for every picture the same color tones or the same sky with purple sky or same colors. It is practically not possible. The net will change every time, and if you have all the same colors in every shot, this means that you are changing the nature that you are seeing every time. And in my case, I feel this, if I'm starting doing this, like cheating, because I'm showing something that is not real. I want to show the reality. I'm trying to not completely modify the frame, but I want just to, let's say, put some more personal touch, but I'm not won't completely change the situation. And the fact that I'm doing also drone photography or intimate sometime or telelens or wide angle shot, I see this something that can give me more advantage at the end, because I can do more stuff. I can do what I want. I'm not the guy that can do only one style. I can do everything. So for me, it's a plus. I don't care too much about the others. I don't care too much about social media, because I care more about myself. I want to be myself when I'm taking the shot, when I'm working my shot with the desktop, with the Photoshop.
That's a wonderful explanation, and I think I relate to that. Now I have another question in particular to this particular image that is in what is on the screen. Now we've not seen too much of drone shots in your portfolio. They are not there, maybe one or two, and this happens to dominate that. So and we see a lot of landscape photographers these days resorting to too much of drone photography, and there are a few people whom I know, they have totally shifted from normal photography to drone photography. I have hardly seen there any images getting posted which they clicked from their camera and created a composition. Now, what is your thought? Because I've never driven it. I've never flown a drone. I've never clicked images with drone. But what is your thought in terms of balancing drone photography and your normal landscape photography? Is drone photography little complicated, requires different kind of skills, or do you think that this is good enough only for documentation of the particular place from a different perspective?
So it is difficult to manage both things, because if you are in a place, you have to take a decision. What you want to do? Do you want drive with the drone, or do you want to take picture with your camera? I can only say what I'm doing. So I don't know if I prefer taking the shot with the camera, and I'm flying with the drone before the sunset or after the sunrise. Okay, so this is the moment where I am free to use the drone. Or if I don't see a good condition to have a good shot, because I have already a lot, I'm starting to use the drone. But this is because I have already a lot of shots from Dolomites, and I'm realizing that the day is not that good, so maybe it is better for me use the drone. About the artistic point of view, it is very different. At the end, the drone give you, I don't know, more liberty to find different composition, different point of view. I think at the end, it is not I don't know, I cannot say that it's bad doing drone photography or drone video. It is better doing only normal photography with camera, because it is another form of art for me to expression yourself. And maybe you can express yourself with the camera sometime with the drone. See, probably. I think I'm trying to justify myself in this, and I don't care about the way, forget the shot. I want just to have my shot. If it's done with drone or is a shot done with the camera, I don't care too much.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid thing. And what you said, explaining this, that it is difficult to manage both, and I can, I've not used drones, but I can visualize that it is almost like when you are trying to set up your camera on a tripod for a long exposure thing and trying to create composition, you're totally engrossed there, and by the time you are finished, you do not have enough time to do the drone photography. And same thing probably goes with drone photography. By the time you finish doing that, you would have already lost that kind of time and probably light also, and cannot put further time into creating different compositions. And I think you will have to take a decision what to do at a particular place. I think the answer lies there probably.
The best option should be go outside only for photography or go outside only for drone. This is the best option.
All right. That makes sense. Yeah, so take it forward. Thank you.
So it also, depends, because if you are, for example, in Lofoten during the winter, the sky or the light is beautiful for many hours. It's not like Dolomites that you have the beautiful life, the sunset or the sunrise only for maybe 15 minutes. In Norway, maybe you have 1 hour for sunset or maybe more. And you can change location. And in that time, you have the opportunity to use both. So it depends, because the angulation, you are on the north, and you have a good light for a long time in comparison to Dolomites. So it depends. Yeah, so I have some shot here about Lofoten again, a classic shot that I took, Northern Light. This is a vertical panorama, this one. I took basically 3 shots, one for the foreground, one for the middle, and one for the sky, because I was not able to have everything in one frame. Maybe I think I can also, well, maybe I change something about this shot. It's not, given that I use a different frame, the composition is a little bit different from the original. I use, if I remember well, the liquify filter to change a little bit here the foreground. Yeah, this is another drone shot from Norway. Another shot from Dolomites. Sanita, I think you remember this place? Probably.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, this was a one step down Passagiao.
This was
One round.
one of the last night, and
Yeah, I remember. We did we shoot Priyanka here?
exactly the same
Yeah.
place. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the place. Yeah.
Another shot with foggy condition. So here there is a good bend along the composition.
Great visual flow again to this image. Great positioning of the light as well.
Yeah.
What
So this
time
is
of
I'm
the-
looking for.
What time of the day this is, Fred?
Before the sunset.
Beautiful.
This one. It's before the sunset, and was really moody. Was a very good condition. Also this one.
This is around spring, right?
Was June, I think. June, the month of June. Last year, I think. Last year we had snow, also in May, and this is the reason that in June there was still snow, because we had a lot of snow last year in the mountain. This is another one with foggy condition as well. Yeah, this is what I like more, because it's difficult to replicate. And then this is Bryce Lake.
Oh,
Also, in this situation, I have low clouds, so situation that are difficult to replicate. Also, this one.
impossible to replicate.
No tourists. Right? We had like many tourists then when we went.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
early in the morning. Is it very early in the morning?
No, it was not early in the morning. The shot, I think it was around 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. I think I took this shot the same day that I took, let me show you. I took this one. When I took this one, I drive a little bit more. I went to Bryce, and I took the same the shot that you are seeing now. This one. I think it was the same day. So after the sunrise, in Antonio, I was there. So it was in the morning, this one. I probably also 9 in the morning, 9 a.m. Yeah, another drone shot here. My site, Jassy, is not really updated because I am rebuilding completely my site in this lockdown.
Okay.
So I'm rebuilding everything. So there are no all the pictures on my site.
This is lovely shot.
I think Federico has a natural gift of compositions. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
natural.
Yeah, to me, composition become natural. I have to say this because I don't think too much when composing my shot.
It just happens.
Yeah. This is another shot that I took in Portugal. Usually the people use a rock. There is another rock to have hair, but I want to do something different. So I found this grass and I was able to do the hair the same. It's a little bit different from the others.
Very well thought. Very well thought, because you can see the heart here.
Yeah. And yeah, I try to find something different. Probably I am the only one that I have the shot with the grass that created the heart. Usually other people have the shot with the heart created by the rocks, not by the grass, as me.
I actually knowingly avoided this composition because everybody shoots a heart over here.
Yeah, I know this, but usually the people have the heart with the rocks, not with the grass.
Yeah.
So this is the one thing that I have different.
Federico got a soft heart. That's why.
Yeah. And yeah, and also foggy condition again. This shot is taken with the tailor-length. I saw some details in the fog, and I saw the little house here. And for me, it was a dreamy situation, and I took the shot.
This
as
is
well.
Dolomites, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is Dolomites.
Yeah, I took the shot, Sanita, I think, with you.
Yeah, because I have a almost similar shot, not like you, but I have something like it.
Yeah.
This foggy condition in that morning, early morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. What a morning it was.
Yeah, and also shot like this, a classic shot for me. I like also see how the clouds play with the peaks of the mountain, like in this situation. I have I don't know, I think a connection with the clouds. I think with this kind of situation, with the clouds, with foggy, probably.
Yeah, I was about to ask you on a lighter note. Do you instruct the clouds before moving out of the house that I'm going to be there? Let's meet there on the edge of that particular rock.
That's a nice question.
No, it's I'm living near Dolomites. I have more opportunity than others, and after a while, you train your eyes to see different, and you are able to capture something different. Simply, this is simpler for me.
That's fantastic. It's I think there is a lot of things that one can learn from all these images and all these kind of the thought process that goes behind it. That it's very important to keep things simple, keep your mind uncluttered, and things will start unfolding in front of you when you are there.
Yeah, it is important to be maybe not too emotional. You have to evaluate the thing in in an emotional way. You have to be rational. when you are in one location. Or you have to appreciate the nature that there is around you, but in the meantime, you have also to consider many aspects. You have to consider what can be beautiful, what can be fantastic for you or unique for you. So you have to combine your emotional with your technique, and also you have to try to be rational, because sometimes if you are too emotional, maybe there is something that cannot work very well with the technique, or with I don't know, maybe for you it is better a situation, but you have not think too much about maybe you have something that is not really at the end when you see the picture at home, it's not really perfect. So you have to find a good mix inside yourself to to have some good shot at the end, I think. Yeah. There is a mix of factors at the end.
I think there are a couple of questions from YouTube.
Yeah.
Rico. I think Sanak was asking, he asked you, he's in the YouTube session, Federico, if your choice of tones reflect the kind of person that you are. Calm, quiet.
Yeah.
Probably. I think every photographer show to the world picture that show what they are. In general, what I'm seeing around me is that many photographers are doing more or less the same stuff with saturated picture, or composition very similar, or I don't know, probably trying to emulate other photographers. This happens especially at the beginning for me. But when you go ahead with your journey of photographer, something changes inside you, and you are trying to do something that is more like you. Basically, you are trying to follow yourself, not the others. So we are not like a stone. We are humans, and we change every month, every year. We change our taste every time. So we are not the same. And so if at the beginning, also me, I was maybe trying to emulate Ryan Dyer or people like these. But after a while, I realized that there is something that doesn't match very well with my character. I want to show what I am, not what the people love. Right? So, yeah, I agree with Sanak. So, I think that my color tones or my way to intend photography, it's a consequence of myself, of my character. Yeah, I agree.
I think on that point, Federico, I mean, because I've followed your work for a while, around 4 or 5 years now, I haven't changed your tonal representations and compositions changing. So you have been very consistent for a very long time, right? So is that something that you always make it a point to not experiment, not do something which you are not, be honest to yourself? Or, you figured out that, let me be a little different from the rest because nobody does what I do. So, what makes you...
I prefer, so for me, I prefer see different artists, usually, that are following different rules or different color tones. They are trying something different. I prefer following. I prefer people that take the risk to do something different, right? Some that I shared to you some names in the past
yes.
about other photographers. Yeah, this is one. I like when the people take the risk to do something different. I know that now it's very hard doing something different. But if you feel to do something like this, you have to follow this basically, because also Andrea, I listened to the interview that you did with Andrea. Andrea changed a lot of the style. At the beginning was looking a lot at the American photographers, and now it's more, let's say, similar to TJ Thorne, maybe, no? So there is a big change. In my case, it was a little bit the same situation, because at the beginning I was looking Ryan Dyer picture, but I didn't show picture like Ryan Dyer, because I want to be honest with myself. I want to share what I like. Probably I like more soft tones or with the natural tones, but it's because it's me. And about composition, I think it is something that after a while, when you look a lot of pictures from the others, and when you are on the field many times, remember some that I am always in Dolomite. So Dolomite for me, it's like a Luna Park, and you train yourself with the composition also. And when I am in one place, probably I get it easy to find the right composition. I think because I am well trained for this, Dolomites help me a lot for this.
I think the second question is, why do you want to travel to Varanasi of all places? Why?
Why what? I'm traveling.
No, why do you want to travel to Varanasi in India?
In India. Yeah,
that,
because
that went viral.
You know, I love traveling, and then first I started traveling, and then I started photography. So I am curious. I want to see new places, and take a picture is a good combination. It's a complementary to me. But first, I like traveling. I cannot imagine myself without traveling. Yeah, this is the reason. So I want to see also Varanasi. Yes, I want to see everything in this world.
It's a great place. It's a great place.
Yeah, come to the wettest place on earth. We will take you around.
So
I have not understand. Can you?
The wettest place.
The same place as I am. It rains a lot over there. So
Yeah.
you're pretty close, but it's a very wet place.
Yeah.
You haven't experienced so much rain in your life.
Yeah, but I am open with my mind to live a different experience. No worry. So yeah, I'm going ahead again to show the last picture that I took. These are basically from Iceland. I have many more. This is Diamond Beach. It's just also in this case a composition that I found with the sun in the middle. I didn't share this picture till now. This is just their part. And or yeah, composition like this one. It is natural tones like this. Yeah, this is me at the end. This is a focus stacking picture. I took this one with the lower 10 millimeter, and I think I took maybe 4 pictures to have this frame. One for the four, or maybe 2 pictures or 3 for the flowers here below, and then for the rest. So this is one case that I did a focus stacking, for example. Another intimate picture from Iceland as well. Northern Light in Iceland. This is a picture with a dreamy look. When you are in front of your desktop, you have the frame, you are looking the frame, it is very important to know in advance where do you want to go with your picture. In this situation, I was looking at the frame, and I already know what I want as a final result. And this is why I put this look in this picture. If you see the original file, is not this one, it's very different, for example.
This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, this is my journey, basically. The picture that I take in this year, so it's a good recap, I think, at the end. So. Can maybe show, I don't know, maybe I can show the post-processing that I did with this picture, if you want.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Is it a composite, Federico?
No, this is all in the same chain, in the same situation. These are two shots, one for foreground and one for the sky. But I didn't move my tripod. The tripod was always in the same place. So it is not a composite. I didn't composite in my career of a photographer. All that you can see from me is from the camera. Maybe there are two different exposure, but it's not composite. I never put a sky with the Milky Way in another location, or a northern light frame in another location. I didn't put in my life. So I never did the composite because basically probably I have no time to do this. I don't know, probably I can do, but I have no time to do this problem.
But what do you think of people who do composites? Do you have anything against them?
What
If somebody does a composite?
My opinion. For me, sometimes composite can work very well. I cannot say that it's the bad things, but you know, if you have maybe a few shots in your disc, maybe it is good to create some composite. Yeah, I agree. But if you are like me, that you have maybe, I don't know, 200 shots to work with your desktop, with your Photoshop, you have no time to check maybe picture to create composite. Why I have to check the picture to create composite? I have too many to work. So it is something that can be acceptable, but for me it is good only for picture that for people that take a few pictures, because you have a few shots and you want to try to have your best. But yeah, if you have a ton of picture, you don't need to do composite for me. This is my idea.
Thank you.
So maybe I can share my, I don't know, maybe, let me see. I can share maybe, I don't know, this. Just to give you an idea, when I don't know, I have more passion for work my picture in Photoshop. So there are many layers, as you can see on the right. And at the beginning, the picture was like this. So when I was looking the picture, I tried to first to understand what I want as a final result. And I tried to put the changes in order to obtain the result that I had in mind. So I started doing, I don't know, put some details in the waterfall. This is two shots, one for the sky and one for the foreground. And then, yeah, I started working a little bit the dark area, again, the water. I try to clean a little bit the little spot. And the composition here is very simple because I had the northern light over the waterfall. And for me, it was good enough as a composition because you have two floors, the one below from the waterfall and the other on the top with the northern light. And I did a little changing in this, let's say, files at the beginning, especially in the sky, the northern light. But as you can see, I'm changing the frame little by little. And for example, here I changed the tonality of the water with this lever. And then I'm changing the sky with the lever, this lever, putting more on blue. I'll give you more clarity here and more clarity again in the water. So, you know, you have to look at your picture and think what I have to modify now, what I have to modify, what is working and what is not working. And I did a little change always in the water, in the sky. I'm trying to increase a little bit the flow of the water again. And yeah, I remove here, for example, in the corner, no, here in the corner, it was too dark for my taste, so I put some clarity. And here I dark the area in a different way. I put another different tonality, more cold. And yeah, I try to put more light in the sky because to me matches better with the water. Yeah, and then this is the shot. So as you can see, so it is all about taste, what you want to do. At the beginning, the shot was more warmer, like this. You can now see the details. Here there is some green. I didn't like a lot at the beginning, but at the end, the shot becomes like this. So. I don't know if you have other question or.
I think not much. Any panelist wants to ask anything on this?
I think I've covered everything I wanted.
Yeah, I think this is all I can say is that
almost everything covered.
what you've shown is very simplistic approach to processing as well, which is kind of should be a good learning curve for everyone watching this session. Sarita, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm fine.
Hello.
Oh, I think Sarita had some question I saw in the.
Yeah, Sarita wanted to ask that there is one image in your website with the trees all pointing upwards, the treetops pointing upwards. So, how much processing has gone into that, or similar kind of images?
Which picture are you talking about?
I think in the detail folder on your website, there is one image of treetops pointing upwards.
With a lot of fog, around it.
I think it's from Dolomites. You were showing some minimalistic, like not typical compositions, different composition. You were showing something like that.
Which one?
Yes, this one. Yeah, here. This one.
This,
Exactly.
yeah, this one, it's basically very similar to the original frame. It's very, very similar. I found the situation really beautiful, really mystic. This is a situation that, I don't know, you have to find the shine with your eyes. And when you see the shine, you take the shot. I don't know, difficult to explain, but yeah, maybe I have also this shot. Let me share the post-processing of this shot. Wait a moment. Let me see where it is. Over here. I have to check where is this shot. Wait a moment. I'm not. I'm not able to find now. But yeah, this shot, it's practically the same of the frame. Basically, I did only some contrast in this image. I put maybe a little bit of vignetting only. So probably this shot have about 3 layers in total, 4, something like this.
So did you darken this tree tops on the left and the
No,
middle?
no, it's all the frame. I didn't cut anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's just amazing.
I didn't cut anything. It's done with the telelens, and yeah, you know, many people maybe it's not able to see a situation like this. But if you train yourself to see different, maybe yeah, you are able to see something also with the telelens sometime. And this shot is taken during the day also. I think it was around 10 in the morning. So yeah, it is something that yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. It's really good. I think we are already beyond 2 hours. So so if we can actually have maybe few questions. You can stop sharing probably, Federico, and then we can
Yeah,
check,
yeah.
and we can start winding up. Yeah. So in my opinion, this was one of the different kind of sessions where Federico showed how simple can be beautiful and how without doing too much into creating your composition, right from creating your composition and presenting your image through after post processing, you can still remain simple in your approach, in your entire technique, your workflow, and still be fabulous with your images. I think that is one huge learning curve for all of us here. Anybody wants to ask anything here, or are we? So
I have a question, Federico.
Yeah.
So apparently you don't like to process your image much, and you try to keep it as close to natural or as close to what came out of the camera as possible. So has it always been so, or it has developed like through the years?
So at the beginning, I was looking a lot the videos of Ryan Dyer, for example. I learned a lot from this video. I am able to do perspective blending. I am able to do focus stacking, many techniques as well. But at the end, I don't know. I think at the end it's more difficult to be simple.
Yes.
the period of the life. So many people trying to show complicated shots with a lot of post processing. Maybe they like spend, I don't know, 6 hours in front of the desktop to create the picture. It is not my case. So for example, I prefer spend 6 hours in the middle of the nature and maybe 1 hour for one picture or 30 minutes. This is me, but I'm not here to say that me I'm better than than others. But it is my approach because I prefer to spend the time outside. And if you spend the time outside, as you can see, the nature can give you a lot in a natural way because I have a moody picture, I have a picture with fog, but I didn't create myself the fog. I didn't create myself the moody condition. Nature give me the moody condition. And sometimes maybe a shot like the one that you are seeing from me, you are thinking that is done with Photoshop, but no, it's done by nature. So this is the beauty for me of photography. Otherwise, you are a graphic designer.
Wonderfully explained. Wonderfully explained. Anybody, any question, or should we now, as all good things come to an end, so has this session. Thank you, Federico, for such an insightful session. It was amazing listening to you. It was amazing going through your work. And it's very rare to see any photographer at this level being so diverse and being fearless in sharing his diverse images, be it one being from the drone, the other being from intimate, the other being little darkish mood, and suddenly you see one from the Slovenia, which is really warm, and in terms of tonality, I think hats off to you. And there's been a lot of takeaway for me in particular, and I think for everyone here and everybody watching there as well. And so there's one viewer who was Dr. R. Palani Raman is saying that landscape photography made simple. That's the essence of this session. And I think we all agree. And with that note, we would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time and talking to all of us here. All the audience in India are hooked on to you, and hope to stay connected and hope to come back together sometime in future.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to be here for the interview. So thank you to all. And then I want to say that at the end, it is up to you. So you can decide by yourself what you want to do with photography. You want to do the things more simple, it is up to you. Do you want to do stuff more complicated? You can do also this. Everyone can do what he wants at the end. So it is easy in that time with the software that we have, Photoshop, Camera Raw, Lightroom, to do what you want. Just follow what you are. This is
Absolutely.
my
Just follow your heart.
Yeah.
And I think perfect quote, perfect sentence to wrap this up. And so thank you again. Bye for now. Bye everybody. Bye everybody.
Ciao, Federico. Ciao, Paramitarchi.
Bye.
See you soon, Fed.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you soon. Federico, see you soon
Yeah, see you
in
soon.
Dolomites.
Yeah. I'm waiting for you. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Jasiji, short.
So nice to see
Yeah.
you once
So
again.
everybody thumbs up. Everybody
Thumbs up.
thumbs up. Just a minute. Let me. Everybody thumbs up. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah.